Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Lemonade242, and today we are watching some feminism versus logic. Yes, it is something that, well, I've been feeling a bit down, and I need some, like, actual stuff, so, instant like, subscribe. Okay, let's watch this.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to welcome.
Oh man, I can't go in cinema mode. Okay, nice. Nice intro. Nice intro.
Of course, there are serious debates to be had about racism, but my God, the world has moved and moved fast from where it used to be.
You are part of the problem. If you think that you are part of the problem, Piers, because you are denying my lived experience.
What do you mean? I'm not denying you anything.
You're speaking over me, for one.
Well, no, now you're playing your old trick of being the victim. And you played that you immediately came out after you were fired. Talked up about all the insults you've had and so on and so on. Of course you're going to get insulted. I don't agree with the way they've insulted you, but when you call every white person racist, and say we're all in... When you say, I don't have the energy to talk about the racial violence of white people anymore, yes, all white people, when you call us a bunch of violent racists, all of us, we are going to get annoyed.
Alright, so first off, I am pretty much an anti-feminist. That doesn't mean I'm against equality. I'm 100% for equality, but we've pretty much already reached that status in our society, at least our Western society. So I'm completely against feminism because, like, third wave feminism even. First and second wave, that was good, but third wave, it's just brought them down, really. So I'm completely against feminism these days, and but I'm completely for the movement of equality, even though we've already reached that status in our society. Okay, just a.
I think the hundreds of thousands of people on food banks in this country, white people amongst them, are privileged.
They have more
privileges than you.
I did not say that. I did
a wealthy
not say
supermodel.
I did not. Please show me my bank account.
All right, you'll be able to make a lot of money out of it. So let me ask you again: do you think that white people on food banks in this country are more or less privileged than you?
I did not say that, Piers. I said.
You just implied that. You said that all white people have privilege.
Let me speak, please. I'm saying that if a person is at the food banks and they're white and there's their counterpart and that counterpart is black, that white person has more of a chance of getting out of that situation than their black counterpart.
Where's the evidence?
No, they don't. Shut up. They don't. From my experiences, the other race, I'm trying to not to get like called out for saying the word black, but the other race, from my experiences, gets more privileges than me. Like, when I went to the IOH quite recently, okay? Well, I mean, not quite recently, but when I've been to the IOH, what happened is, I had a passport, and I get treated after someone without a passport. It's just, and who's the more supreme here? It's just
white privilege.
Really?
White people have more access to housing.
So poor white people, just to clarify, poor white people have a better chance in Britain of getting out of their poverty than poor black people.
Yes.
All of them.
I feel like I'm up against the wall with you, Piers.
No, you're not.
Your points are faulted. Like, this guy on the left, like him, this Pierce bloke, he's speaking the truth. She's just like, well, she knows she's lost and she's just trying to like get her way out of it. So, yeah.
what you're up against is somebody challenging you on your public statements.
Yes.
Which you managed to turn into a massive, great story of your poor victimhood.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, now you're sitting here, that I think when you say all white people are racially violent, that is deeply offensive.
But wait, there's more.
We need to be speaking about what the root of racism, what the root of sexism is. And sexism doesn't come from women. So of course it's caused by men. This is a social
You don't think women can be sexist?
I don't think that women can enforce misogyny.
What's a load of nonsense?
No, because it's all...
You don't think any women can be
Women
sexist?
don't uphold the patriarchy, Piers. That is
Uphold
not
the what?
The patriarchy.
What's that?
Patriarchy.
But explain it.
The patriarchy is basically a structure that puts men at the top of power. So...
What are you doing?
Women don't have anything to...
The most powerful people in this country currently are women. How does that stick with your patriarchy?
Bruh.
Look, I've seen a lot of...
Thank you so much for having me.
I've seen a lot of your clips, and I can't help but think whether you actually mean half the things that you say and whether you're just trying to get attention. Do you actually believe in what you say, or are you just trying to stir the pot?
Well, a lot of people have that reaction. A lot of people have that question. I don't know why it should be weird that I don't know why it should be weird that a gay guy would be skeptical or fearful of Islam. I don't see anything strange about a gay person liking the Bible and liking the First Amendment and liking low taxes. I don't find anything odd about me, really. In order to find me peculiar or strange, or in order to think that perhaps I'm putting it on, you have to sign up to this idea of identity politics, which suggests that just because somebody is black or gay or a woman, they have to have particular political or ideological positions. I reject that idea.
I don't care whether you're gay or whatever. I'm just saying, you know, some of the things are just so outrageous, and the way you put them, I think, is he like a real-life Borat that's just out there to make fun of everyone and
what do you
get
think is
followers?
outrageous? What do you think that I've said is outrageous?
Well,
Give me something and perhaps I can explain it for you.
You've called rape culture a fantasy. You've likened feminism to
It is
cancer.
true.
You've said that women on the pill don't look
Both
right,
of
they
them.
don't talk right. But you suggest that we
all
don't...
those things are true.
Okay, you said that
all
you
those
say...
things are true.
Do you really
rape
believe
culture
it,
on
though?
American college campuses, you know, to say that there is a rape culture implies that there is a system or an environment which encourages rape. That doesn't
True.
exist on American college campuses. And to
Exactly.
believe in the statistics that feminists peddle, that's the 1 in 4, 1 in 5 women is going to be sexually assaulted in her time on campus, you'd have to believe that American college campuses have rape rates that approach those of the Congo, where rape is used as a weapon of war. We don't reward rapists in our society. We put them in prison. On the feminism question, women agree with me. 4/5 of American women do not describe themselves as feminists, and just 7% of British women describe themselves as feminists. I would imagine that Australia, being a very sensible country, would share those views too. It's only journalists who insist on political positions and insist on feminism in public.
I've
Actual
heard you
people
say
at
that.
home
I've heard
agree
you
with
say
me.
that with almost every interview that I saw you do. But on
Well,
your statement...
then you should ask different questions, darling.
Bro, I love this guy. I love him. Nice, okay.
Generation's moral imperative to take responsibility for what our children learn. We must turn our focus right now to the message and content they are exposed to on a daily basis through social media, the bullying, the experience online and in person.
First Lady Melania Trump speaking at the UN yesterday about cyberbullying. So how did the left, how do liberals react? Well, they attacked the First Lady online. During an interview, Hillary Clinton even took a shot at the First Lady for not doing enough. Really? Joining us now, Fox News contributors Tommy Lahren.
Bro.
And Jessica Tarlow. You know, if this ever when we criticize Michelle Obama, conservatives, when she injected herself into politics and said, for the first time in my adult life, I'll of my country, the left went nuts. They made fun of Melania's shoes, what she wears to Hurricane Harvey.
Yep.
Where's your side defending women here?
Right here.
You're it?
No, there are a couple
Where
of
are
us
they?
out there.
Hillary Clinton didn't.
No, well, the point that Hillary Clinton made was a policy point, and I think that's completely sound. Don't pick on her outfit. It also was fabulous. But Melania Trump picking up cyberbullying as her patron saint cause after what Donald Trump tweeted.
So, that's the second time I've heard a feminist almost say something overly, like, inappropriate. So the first one, like the one of the first, who's going against Pierce Brosnan bloke at the start, instead of saying house, she nearly said ho. This woman, instead of saying, what was she about to say? There you go.
No, there are a couple of us out there.
Hillary Clinton didn't.
No, well, the point that Hillary Clinton made was a policy point, and I think that's completely sound. Don't pick on her outfit. It also was fabulous. But Melania Trump picking up cyberbullying as her patron saint cause after what Donald Trump tweeted.
She was trying to say her, but instead of saying that, she said whore. I'm not trying to make a point or anything, I'm just picking it up.
Just last weekend, right? The golf swing and the golf ball hitting Hillary in the back.
Really? Are you that humorless? Are you really
you
that
really
humorless?
laughed at that? And if that had been a conservative,
it's what's known as a meme. It's what's known as a meme, right? It is what's known as a meme, and memes are brilliant things. They are truly powerful, and they're funny. So you can shut up, Blood. So get in the bin.
Just look at pictures of me. It's
I laugh at
funny.
you all the time on the internet.
Oh,
for
great.
sure.
You know what? I don't think Tommy gets hit harder than me. You know what, Tommy? You just don't do what the left does. Conservatives wouldn't do it, and if they did do it, they'd be ridiculed and raked over the coals.
Well, here's my question for Jessica. I mean, isn't this supposed to be a platform the left loves? We're talking about bullying. We're talking about cyberbullying. We're talking about being an advocate for that. Melania Trump is coming out in something that's not partisan at all. This is just a human thing. But yet they attack her for what she's wearing. And again, where are the feminists? They never come out. They never come out when Sanders is called the Butch
Queen. Everywhere. They're just not supporting Kellyanne Conway, who advocates for policies that hurt women. They're not thrilled that Hope hit.
Stop.
Why?
She does
We're
not.
not talking about Kellyanne Conway. We're talking about Melania Trump.
You think that if you advocate for an agenda...
We're talking about cyberbullying. We're talking about Melania Trump advocating for an end to cyberbullying. But yet the left goes after her and they ridicule her. And I don't see the feminists coming out saying, hey, leave a woman alone, leave an empowered female alone. I don't see the feminists doing that, Jessica. I don't.
Oh, here we go. Love it.
What kind of country is modern Britain? No doubt it's a country that likes to think of itself as inclusive, but that depends where you're standing. To me, as a transgender mixed-race person, we live in a deeply racist society. The government's race audit for England identified discrimination.
So, you're telling me we're living in a deeply racist and sexist society in Britain. Me, being British, I've lived here all my life, a solid 12 years, and I think I know my country pretty well. So, basically, the Queen obviously is a woman of power. She's, to be honest, she has power over every man in the country, so you can shut up about that. And then also Theresa May is the same story. Theresa May is obviously a woman, and she is in power of the country. Also racism. Obviously, there are some people who are racist, but they're called chavs, or criminals, or convicts. Same idea with rapists, really. So, that's that sorted. You can shut up now.
Against people of colour in many of our institutions, ranging from the police to the justice system to schools. Does this surprise you? It's old news to me and almost a bad joke to identify it now. It's something that we've known for years, but the political will has not been there to deal with it, and I'm not sure it is now. Why should we expect anything else from a country that's built its success?
Only yesterday, I went to Bristol. And I got a Domino's pizza, and I decided to sit in the park and eat it with my parents. You know, it's a nice day out. We just went to a Michael Jackson concert. It was a nice night. And guess what was outside? One of the biggest gay pride marches I've ever seen. I mean, one woman was walking naked on the streets. I mean, it's just disgusting, really. And I thought we should call the police. Somebody's naked. Then then I realised the cops wouldn't do anything, because if they were seen arresting a gay pride marcher, they get called up for sexism and homophobic abuse. So to be honest, the government is pretty much empowering gay people. Okay, so also with the woman thing, same story, and also with the other race, same story. So, you know, all cultures are being equalised in this country. All of them.
Success on the enslavement of non-white people. It's that continuous cycle of racism that explains where we are now. Why does the UK acknowledge the sacrifice of people killed in wars, not the spilled blood of black? If the UK took our oppression seriously, then people like me who...
Right, now we just talk about the Commonwealth for a minute. So we talk about the spilled blood of our ancestors and all that. Half of the soldiers who fought in World War II and World War I, for that matter, came from the Commonwealth. And most of the Commonwealth people, or at the time that would have been the British Empire, most of the people came from African countries and other European countries. So when we say we respect the blood of the spilt blood of our ancestors, we're talking about all the cultures, all the races, everybody who died fighting for Britain, including Africans and other Europeans, and anyone in the current Commonwealth or the old British Empire. We're talking about them too, because that, and in my eyes that's equal. That is 100% perfectly equal. So that's a false point.
Call out racism would be listened to rather than ridiculed or threatened with death. If white people want to see an improvement for people of colour, they need to understand that racism is not learned, it's inherited, and either consciously or unconsciously passed down through privilege.
Racism is not learned, it is inherited. That's quite a racist statement, if you ask me. Right? I've never been racist in my entire life, never once. Well, never actually, like, when I was younger, I made a few slurs, but nothing. It was accidental. I didn't realise what they meant. Like, but since then, I've never been racist in my entire life, and I've certainly not inherited anything. Like, I am completely against racism and sexism, but I'm also completely against people like you, whoever the hell you are. Like, you need to listen to yourself speaking, okay? Listen to yourself.
The uncomfortable truth is that the white race is the most violent and oppressive force of nature on Earth. My worry is that whatever...
I think you'll find that if you don't generalise the white people, you'll find out that the most violent of the white people were the Nazi order. They were pretty violent, and then you go back a few years, a few hundred years, then you see that what were they? The Spanish, you know, every country at some point in early history has been extremely racist. But that's in early history, and we are in the present, not the history. And you're calling us the most violent race. Like, have you ever, like, seen those, like, the gangs in America and South America? And I'm not going to say anything, but you can get what I'm implying. The white and the black cultures are just as racist as not just as racist, just as violent as each other. Like, maybe even like the Zulu people, I'm not going to say anything more because I'll probably get called up for racism, but it's a truth.
Whatever governments do to tinker with institutional racism, it is so ingrained in the fabric of British society that it is too late to do anything about it.
And from the World Cinema in Herne Hill to our own little cinema here in SW1, Monroe joins us now. Thanks for joining us and for your take. Is Britain a deeply racist society?
We live in a society where we won't even talk about it. So until we actually we've only just really started talking about modern day racism. When we talk about...
I'm talking about it right now. Okay? Right, I know this is a few years old, but I'm still talking about it right now. This is a subject that has been addressed a lot. See, the anti-racism, like, you know, this country is has some of the most charities in Africa at the moment. We are helping the other race because we care, and I'm sure the other race would do the same for us if we were in trouble. Or at least the people of the other race who actually understand what we're doing. Like, this girl, she probably has never heard of our charities like Oxfam, or AquaAid. AquaAid is sponsored by our school, and you know, this is a subject that needs to be addressed. I completely agree. But it's not a subject that needs to be addressed like this girl is putting it. So, a lot of people are addressing these subjects, and they're doing it right. But a lot of people misunderstand and are deluded by infamous people like her. They're deluded.
Racism, we're always, you know, either talking, sorry to bring up what you talked about, but we're either comparing to America, which is wholly different. The history is very, very different. We celebrate...
Is that Michael Portillo? Is that Michael? That's Michael Portillo. What was he doing here? And who's that? Is that Paul McCartney? No, I'm kidding.
The empire here, but the empire has a horrible history for people of colour. But we have a multicultural society, so there's this imbalance.
All right. Indian people, they are tanned, very tanned, permanent tan, so they count as people of colour, of course. There was something called the Sati. we're studying the British Empire at school at the moment, and there's something called the Sati. And that was when a wife's husband died, the wife was thrown into the crematorium, either voluntarily or not, and they were thrown in and burnt alive, or something like that. We put an end to that. Also, before the British Empire in India, there were no hospitals. There were clinics, a few, but there were no hospitals. And we put 65. That doesn't seem like a substantial amount, but that's 65 more than nothing. So we actually helped people out. You know, there were very minimal military forces in each area of the British Empire. There was only one squadron, probably one like expedition group in each country that we liberated. And I say liberated, not conquered. We didn't actually take the countries by force. We didn't take them at all. The countries pretty much let themselves go under the Queen's rule. It's something that needs to be understood in this current era.
Especially when it comes to education, the whole system needs to change.
But let me look at education. Let's look at the figures on education. 33% of white kids go to university or further education. 37% of black kids go to university or further education. 67% of Indian kids go to university or further education. 76% of Chinese kids go to university or further education. Where's the racism in that?
I'm talking about...
Good point. I've been to many new universities for various sports events when I was younger, various family events, and like the University of Bath, where I live. I haven't seen that many white people, but I have seen a lot of other cultures. I mean, I have seen a lot of white people, but I see more by comparison of other cultures. So thank you for that comment.
How people's history and how people's
But I'm talking about now and chances of young children.
I'm not talking about their...
But what's wrong with these figures?
I'm about to tell you. I'm not talking about their academic performance. I'm talking about how we are taught about each other. If black kids aren't being taught about their histories, if we're being taught, you know, that white history is paramount, that's essentially feeding into a white supremacist narrative. We can't be taught teaching kids that white people's history is the sole history of this country. We need to be taught about black contributions and other contributions of other cultures within society.
But for most people, what racism is and what they'd like to improve is the chances of people getting on regardless of the colour of the skin.
That's not just racism, though. I'm talking about the mental health.
But it's still quite an important thing. And these figures would suggest that as a country, we're doing reasonably well.
No, facts and figures.
But you think, facts and figures are important. But you think that we are irredeemably racist, don't you?
What, this society? Yeah, I do. Unfortunately, I do. I think that...
First off, we're not there's no such thing as being irredeemably racist. Everything is redeemable. I used to be really mean in my old school, and I've changed a lot. See, I've been redeemed. A lot of people call me irredeemable, but I've redeemed myself. So there's no such thing as that, and we're not. Believe it, the minority of people in our country are racist. And that's a good thing. and we're very swiftly getting rid of the racism in our country. 100 years ago, maybe more, no, let's say 150 years ago, there was definitely white supremacy, 100%. But that's 150 years ago. It's irrelevant. We're living in the modern world. The modern world which is better. The modern England and the modern people. We have overcome our irredeemable racism, and we are no longer at that point. So you can just get in the bin.
Britain, the success of Britain is literally based on racism.
And do you think we're irredeemably sexist as well?
100%.
But if you take something like gender,
I think
we are making advances in terms of gender pay.
All men smashing down the patriarchy, we are going to be on that page. So I think yes,
but we can make progress.
I think we can make progress and we can combat it.
But if it's irredeemable, you can't make progress.
I mean, it's fighting human nature, and humans are flawed.
Humans are flawed, but you seem to think that white people are uniquely evil.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that individual people are unique.
Well,
Yes, you did. You didn't exactly say evil, but you imply it. You definitely imply it. See, I'm not saying a woman would do this, but I'm saying a feminist would do this. A feminist, in every single sense, when she knows she's been beaten, she will 100% lie to get out of the situation. It's a fact.
Talking about
no. You said whites are the most violent and oppressive people.
On Earth.
Well, that's what you said in your film.
And if you're going to go...
But that would seem to me that...
Statistics point that out too.
Really? Well, yes. The Chinese were massacring Chinese and other races long before they'd ever met a white person. Attila the Hun wasn't white. It's the same in the subcontinent, if you go back hundreds of years as well. The genocide in Rwanda was black on black. So is the Congo, which is the rape capital of the world. These things have got nothing to do with white people. 85% of whites in this country feel they belong to Britain. 84% of Asians. 81% of black people. It's not clear that non-white people in this country feel the way you do.
Callum's Corner. To call correctness. I love Callum's Corner. He's the tic-tac guy.
Welcome to Callum's Corner. Right, I went to this bloody course today, communicating in a bloody the service users in a bloody modern world. Walked out halfway through. I'm not chowing down on that crap sandwich any longer. I do not care if I lose my job over this. It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Telling me how I can sit. Oh, legs together, pancaking my bloody testicles. So I feel faintly nauseous.
Good point. You can stop shouting, but good point. I saw a video once of girls trying out manspreading. Do you know what they were doing? They were sitting on the bus putting their feet up on all the seats. It's not what we do. What I do is I sit with my legs slightly apart. I sit there with them straight forward. I'm not doing anything strange. I'm just sitting there normally. And nobody has a problem with it, okay? That was a good spot to pause on, by the way. And anyway, I just sit there patiently, and I don't spread my legs out. I don't put my feet on the seat next to me. These people are exaggerating their points to get. Well, it's not equality, is it? It's more than that. It's feminist supremacy. Not female supremacy, feminist supremacy. Not equality, feminist supremacy. It's a fact.
All the time. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Honestly, it is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I'm a man. There's nothing wrong with that. I've got a bloody meat and 2 beds. I've got a package between my legs. Fine. There's nothing to be ashamed of. That's a woman. She's got a bloody lady garden and dirty pillows. There's nothing wrong with that. Granted, it can be difficult to tell now with the bloody little emo smurfs and stuff. But they'll tell you, just ask them what I identify with. Otherwise, everyone's going to be a bloody it just to please an obnoxious few people who are too ugly to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend. That's where it all comes from, I tell you. She had a face like a monkey's arse. Her mouth was the anus, farting out these dirty, obnoxious views into the world that the rest of us have to chow down on. Well, I'm not going to be that man anymore. I'm not going to eat that shit sandwich any longer. Madness, you've got no idea what it's like out in the real world. But I'm working with 80-year-old and 90-year-old men and women. Don't call it gender-neutral language. They want to be called pet and love and stuff. It makes their bloody day. You've got no idea what goes on in the real world. Sitting there with your bourgeoisie, pen-pushing, cushy roll. Shit goes down in my job. Literally. You, feminist bin, could not handle it. I'm not making any names before you start getting on bloody litigious, but you know what you are, and you can kick my hairy ass. I don't care if I lose my job. It is worth it. Just not to eat this crap anymore. Idiot.
What is this? Why are we doing that trailer, bro? Okay, so it's the end of the video. Alright, I think that'll do it for today's video, so be sure to like, subscribe and do all of that. And without ado, I'll let you roam the internet some more. Hopefully more on my channel, but yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.